Hey, so these are some cool Brigitte shield jumps that are pretty useful in Hollywood mostly for getting high ground and for scouting. So the thing about Brigitte shield bashing is it's pretty precise in terms of like a lot of these jumps are frame perfect and that you're not like you can okay, for example, you can go from there to high ground and it's pretty consistent, right? So a lot of these jumps you're not gonna you need to practice. Like if you wanna like get good at like bridge shield jumping, you kinda need to practice because in terms of like timing, it's super precise. Like this one of the more easy ones on Hollywood. You can just go off this cart right here and you can just get instant high ground. Or you can just get on the low ground right here. You can also get up there by using the spotlight. You just go off the spotlight and get on high ground. Pretty simple. Another one that you can do is you can actually go off this dumpster and get on top of jail. Oh, almost. Which, this is one of the more precise ones because you need to actually, you need to jump and then bash. You can't jump and bash together because you'll just end up hitting the dumpster. You need to, like, at the height of your jump, shield bash, and you'll get up. The height of your jump, shield bash. Because most, basically the rule of thumb for Brigitte shield jumping is if like you're even with the target you're trying to shield jump on, like this for example, right? You just bash and jump. But for like the dumpster, for example, you wanna jump, and at the height of your jump, bash. So this is one of the harder ones over here. It's you go off the spotlight on a high ground. So obviously what you want to do is you would want to like walk off onto it, but what you actually have to do is you need to jump before. This is probably one of the hardest ones on Hollywood to get. Almost. You want to jump before and bash off the light. There we go. You jump before and you bash off the light. Like I said, this one's pretty tough to get. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I'm just gonna go to third before I go to first. You can actually get on top of high ground by jumping off this moon. You have to like kind of jump at an angle.
I've got you covered.
There we go. It's kind of finicky because you have to jump at a certain angle. Like that's what I mean about most of these Brigitte jumps. There we go. They're pretty precise in terms of timing and like angles. Otherwise, you're just not gonna go far enough. Like it's like usually pretty frame perfect. Like, and you can't do what most people do, will just walk up, do it with your shield up, because you won't get enough speed. Like if you just walk up, do it like this, like you just won't get enough speed. See, you'll get the height, but you won't get the speeds. You have to like walk up, do it, jump, and like bash at the same time. Anyway, that's a bit harder. You can also actually get up there from this side if you go off the moon. You go. This is also one of the harder ones. You can make it if you have your ult too, sure, we've just speed boost. But you can just barely make it. The thing is, you can jump off a lot of surfaces, Brigitte. For example, I also found out you can, like, I'm just gonna give you an example of a surface you can jump off. This little the side of this electrical box right here, you can actually go off of. And it's just a good example of, like, stuff you can go off of as Brigitte. See? Like, you can go off almost anything that has an incline to it. See? Alright. So, going back to Hollywood first. You also should be able to jump off this dumpster and turn around. Like this. That's the thing. Usually with a lot of these jumps, you get a lot of airtime, so you can like turn around like after you bash. You can also get on top of jail by using this cart. It's a bit easy. It's a lot easier than the dumpster jump. You can just, because the cart, these two carts are really easy. And same with the spotlight over here. Because you, like, it's not that precise. I say that as I missed this 3 times. 4 times. Anyway, you get the point. There we go. Anyway, you get the point. So, now for first point, which is where you have a lot of shield jump tech. So, you can get on top of the very top high ground. This is one of the more precise ones because you have to get a lot of height. You want to kind of come at it diagonally. Like, you see where my spray is? Like, kind of like diagonally. And you want to jump close to the car. This takes a lot of practice to get. Like, I can't get it every time. There we go. So some of the easier ones that are more useful, you can go off the window, get on high ground. You can do the same for the other high ground. You get on top of cafe. This is probably one of the most useful ones because you can like you can say you're playing down on low ground with your team and you get dove, you can just shield bash onto, wow, I got a lot, Jesus, I got a lot of height. You can shield bash onto high ground, and the thing is, Brigitte heals from her shift. So let's say, because a lot of people are just gonna assume you need to be swinging like repeatedly as Brigitte to get a lot of healing done. Well, that's not true. You can, so let's say you get dove and you shield bash on a high ground. Your team's fighting. You left shift, and that gives you the 80 heal, as it's 80 when you left click somebody or shift. It's 80 total heal. It's like 16 per second. So you can just left shift, sit up here and shield, off cooldown left shift, and you're basically Lucio. That's about how much you're healing for. So now for the rest of the jumps, this is actually a really good one if you're coming out attack. You can shield bash off this SUV, and you can keep your shield up, and you can actually scout the point. Okay, I'm not quite getting quite enough air. Okay. Yeah, you can go all the way up, and you can just scout the point. Make sure you keep your shield up after you go off those so you get the third-person camera. Okay, so this is one you can only make with your ult. If you bounce off this SUV, you notice that when you bounce, even like with max, you don't get enough. You just barely don't get enough. So you pop your ult, and you just barely make it. It's very close. Anyway, that's a lot of the ones I found on Hollywood. But you can bash with Brigitte about off anything that looks like you can, like anything inclined. But yeah, that's some of the ones I found on Hollywood. I found a lot on other maps too. I'm probably gonna make videos on, but this is just a short one. I know, like, I missed a lot of jumps, but kind of just, you know, impromptu. Anyway, I actually found all these on my Twitch channel live. If you on my Twitch channel, you know, twitch.tv/tornplanet. You know, I stream every day. Probably gonna be playing a lot of Brigitte when she goes to live. So, anyway, thanks for watching.